Hey everyone, this is Lesky here, back with another FIFA 21 Pro Clubs player build for you guys today. And in this video, we have for you another defender build on my channel. I believe this is like my third defender build, but this time it is going to be a wingback slash right back. We're listed as a wingback, but this build can also be perfectly used just as a normal right back. So it's a little bit of both, wingback slash right back. We're just, our actual position is listed as a wingback on Pro Clubs, but it can work for both positions, doesn't matter. The other wingback build I have on my channel is a 5'10", 119-pound wingback, and that's more specialized to use that build as CDM. You know, a lot of people rock a wingback and play them at CDM because they're fast, got really good defensive stats and whatnot. They're just better than a CDM, mostly because they are a lot faster than a CDM. That's why a lot of people use wingbacks in the center mid to play like holding mid, defensive mid type of roles. But this could be used for that for sure, but this build is more specialized at actually playing right back or wing back out wide, rather than playing in the midfield. If you want a wing back build that can be played in the midfield as a defensive mid, look at my other wing back build, the Ramirez wing back build. I would suggest that one. It's a very good build for defensive mid. But for this one, we're just going to focus on the right back, the fullback role. So looking on this athletic page, you can see that we're listed as 5'8", 149, which is a good height and weight for a wingback. You're still very, very fast. We could have went for the lower 5'6", but I'm really just not a fan of smaller builds, especially when it comes to defending. I know a lot of people are huge fans of smaller builds, but I think we just went for 5'8" because what it got us to was exactly 70 strength, and then anything less than that will get us below 70 strength. And then I just don't like using a wingback build that is just kind of weak and you can just get pushed off easily. So that's why we went for 5'8", 149, and it gets us to 70 strength exactly. So that will wrap it up for this athletic page, and now we can move on to the skill tree. Over here on this playstyle screen for this wingback, as you guys can see, we are 5'8", 149 pounds, and right-footed. And on this bottom right section, we are a 90 overall, as you guys can see. Some of y'all's might be a lower overall. Some of y'all's could even be a higher overall, just depending on how many games you have played compared to me. So don't get too worried about the overall of this build. I actually didn't use this build, similar to my center back build that I posted on my channel if you've seen that. I let my innie use this build, and his player was just set as a wingback and played right back for us. And it was actually very useful because when he switched to his wingback, he was able to chop down a lot of the players. And at times, he was almost more noticeable than the center back. When we played games with the center back, he almost helped more than the center back just because he's probably just a lot faster. Even though he's not in the center of the field, like stopping all the chances down the center of the field, he pretty much eliminates one side of the field, the whole right side of the field, with his guy at right back, which is really clutch. So now we're going to move on to the skill tree and start with physical. Over here on physical, we went all the way down to the physical focus on this right side right before second wind. And that's mainly because, again, our innie's playing it, so he doesn't need the second wind. So if you are playing innie and you are trying to use this build kind of like our innie does, I would definitely take off the second wind. But what you're going to have to do if you are just using this build straight up as a right back, I think you'll need the second wind. You might not, honestly, if you're not attacking too much. But if you're playing wing back and going up and down quite a bit, I think you'll definitely need the second wind. It's really just depends what you want. And then on this left side, we went all the way down to the jumping focus. And again, that's really just to get us to that 70 strength mark and 87 jumping. The 87 jumping is actually huge in my opinion. Like a lot of y'all might think, since like it's a smaller player, there's really no point of having jumping. But 5'8's really not crazy small. You still win headers. Like he won a ton of headers, and it looks like his guy was way over 87 jumping in my opinion. But he actually won a lot of headers, and it was surprising. His little dude sprung up quite a bit to win some headers. So that higher jumping definitely helps a bit for winning those 50-50s. So this is what your physical page is going to want to be looking like. Unless you want to add the second wind, what I would suggest is we're going to have to skip over to dribbling real quick. Actually, over to passing. And we're going to have to take off this whole right section and then put that on the second wind, and then you'll be good to go. So I'm going to keep it like that for now, and then I'll change it for the people that don't want the second wind. But I assume a lot of y'all are going to want the second wind since y'all aren't playing any. But honestly, this build could possibly work out without the second one. I haven't really tried it, and it depends how you play and how much you run. And because you already have a really good stamina of 92 in the first place, and then I haven't even looked at the reactions. The reactions for a wingback are insane. 92 is pretty good. So now we can move on to the defending section. Over here on defending, we almost went for a full upgrade. There's really no point of going for the last slide tackle since the slide tackling base stats on a wingback are already crazy compared to their stand tackling. They're already way better than stand tackling. So there's no point of adding +3 slide tackling for 95 slide tackling and then -1 stand tackle to only 87 stand tackle. Most of the time you're going to be stand tackling anyway, so that's pretty important to get that up. So that's why we left that off, because we want to get that stand tackle as high as possible because the slide tackle is already really high. We really don't need this slide tackle. It already goes to 90, but it's only 1 skill point and it costs 2 and it's +2 slide tackles. So it's pretty good and it's worth it in my opinion. I guess you really don't need this for the extra 3 interceptions. You already have 90 interceptions and that's pretty good as well. But might as well. It's just better defensive stats. So yeah, just looking at the defensive stats as a whole, we have 93 interceptions, 89 defensive awareness, which actually can go up even more to 90 for me, 88 stand tackling, and 92 slide tackling. It would have been nice to try and get that stand tackling up to 90, but it's physically not possible for a wingback of this body type. But those 93 interceptions are huge with all the pace you have. The interceptions will come in very clutch. And don't forget to try some slide tackles because you can hit those sweeping slide tackles, where they sweep their leg across and like curl it around and keep the ball with them. Those dirty slide tackle animations. When you have like crazy crazy high stats for slide tackling like this, you can make slide tackles like that. So this will be it for the defending section. Defending seemed to be really good when my NE was using this build. He was locking down pretty much all the players on the right side of the field. They couldn't go down the right side of the field. They pretty much had to go left or center. And then at times, since we're playing a narrow formation for defense, his right back would come inside and help the center backs defend against a lot of the pacier attackers. So it's very clutch for defending with this build. Over here on the dribbling section, we went for the full upgrade on the left side, agility and balance. That's clutch not only just for dribbling and making your player feel better, but also for defending, being able to jockey, shuffle, and stay in front of your man. It's very clutch to have good agility and balance, not also just for attacking, but for defending as well. For this build, since this is a wingback, you will be attacking with it. Even if you're playing at right back, you can attack with this build and come up the field sometimes, as long as you aren't getting countered too hard. So the 4-star skills are there to help you out when it comes to be able to dribble by somebody down the line and get a cross off or sweat it or whatever it may be, just to be able to beat somebody one-on-one. Those 4-star skills are extremely helpful. So looking at these stats, we have 88 agility and 86 balance, which is actually pretty good for a wingback. And then we have 92 ball control and 86 dribbling. For wingbacks, their base ball control stats are very good compared to their dribbling. They have really high ball control. So on this right side, we basically went for the first two dribbling, and then we went for the ball control on the left, which is +2 ball control for 1 skill point, so it's pretty good. And then we also went for the ball control focus, which is another good one I like to put on all my builds, or a lot of my builds at least. And then this other one gives you +2 dribbling as well for only 1 skill point. And then lastly, we don't really need this, but since we have like an extra skill point to work with, you might as well add it onto dribbling since it's only at 85 compared to that 92 ball control, and that'll get us up to 86 dribbling. And then that'll be it for dribbling section. Now we can move on to passing. So over here on passing, we have this left side filled out a bit, but as you guys can see, we're really going for the long passing since if we take it off, we have 77 long passing and 88 short passing. Like wingbacks don't have the greatest passing stats for default, but they're really not bad. The crossing's actually insane though, and then the short passing is very good, and then the curve. But long passing and vision aren't too great. And vision, in my opinion, is probably the most important passing stat. Like if you have a high vision and like a low short passing and long passing, that vision can make up for that. But what we went for is down to all this long pass right here, which will get you to 81 long pass and 87 curve. I guess you could take it off and just go for 80 long pass, 86 curve like this. And this is how our NE had his skill tree set up. He went for the passing upgrades like this, and then we had some extra skill points, and we wanted to get that curve to 90 because it helps with the passing and then also the crossing quite a bit. And that's what we went for. But I guess it's not really necessary. You could take this off and then take this off as well, but you would have lower curve and long passing, obviously. And then you could add it to other stuff. Like if you really want the 5-star skills, I guess you could add it to the 5-star skills. Like it's probably more important if you're actually playing wingback and really attacking down the line and going forward. But if you're straight up playing right back, I would suggest just going for the 4-star skills. The 5-star skills won't be too helpful. But yeah, this is how we have it if you are not going to be running the second wind. If you are running the second wind, you're going to want it like this. You're going to want to take off this right section and then put it back like this. So that's how we're going to leave it for now. Again, if you don't want the second wind, I showed you the alternatives on what you can do in your skill tree. So just reviewing the passing stats real quick. We have 89 short pass. That's our best stat. Short passing will be good. 81 long passing. You can try those long wide through balls, those hard wide through balls on the ground. The long passing might not be the best, but it will still be pretty solid for you. 81 is really not a bad number. 87 curve, pretty good. Will help with the crosses and the passing as well. And then 91 crossing. So if you have some bigger dudes to cross the ball into, this build will be even more deadly as a wingback or a right back, or just RBX crosses if they're open. Don't just spam them if it's not open at all. It's kind of useless and a waste of possession. But if there's a guy open and there's an opportunity, definitely give it a try because you have a lot of crossing and curve to hopefully find your man in the box. Over to shooting now. We don't have anything on this page since this is a right back, wing back build, and we wanted to spread a lot of the skill points around in other places. It's really not too necessary. You're not going to be going up too much. And then like for the formation we played, we did like a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, and then we had this build playing at right back. So if he goes up too much, we get countered pretty easily by all the fast kids. But he did go up quite a bit, and he's so fast just running down the line. He catches a lot of the innies off guard that we play against, and because he can blow past the other left back or whatever it may be trying to defend him and get a cross off. But he really didn't get in too many situations when it comes to shooting. And then that will be it for the shooting section. Really, there's nothing to review about. They're all in the 70s. If you do try and shoot with this build, don't expect much. It's not going to be anything crazy. So now on to the last section, which is pace, and we went for the full upgrade, and this will get us to basically the fastest we can be as a 5'8", 149-pound player as a wingback, and this will get us a 93 acceleration, 92 sprint speed, which is very good. And as a default, it is way better than a right back, like a default right back computer player, and a center back way faster. So it's a huge difference if you're playing any and you have this player in the back for you. It's so clutch, and it'll help you defensively a lot. You'll get a lot more shutouts, you'll notice, and a lot less goals scored on you in general. And then if you're actually not playing any and just using this build, you shouldn't be noticing the pace as a problem. You should be able to chop down people pretty easily. He looked absolutely rapid on the field, honestly even faster, 93 acceleration and 92 sprint speed. So pace really isn't a problem with this build. You should be able to chop down pretty much anybody when it comes to running players down on the defensive side of things, or burning people when you have the ball down the line and trying to get a cross off or whatever it may be. It's very nice, especially with the high agility of 88 and 86 balance in tandem with 92 ball control and 86 dribbling. And then you also have those 4-star skills to get past people with that high pace stat. This will wrap up the video for this right wing back build for you guys on pro clubs. Let me know in the comments if you do give it a try and how it went for you. And if you could hit that like button on this video and that subscribe button on my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Almost at that 1,000 subscriber mark, and that'll be a huge milestone for me and my channel. Thank you guys for all the support lately. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and peace out.